Davin Philpott. We've been close and communicated, and so it just became a really natural partnership. And I had a moment of college, realization that I want to do this for a career. I'm getting so stressed out over a fake project that's never going to get built. I kind of need to reprocess how I deal with stress and things. I didn't know what I wanted to do until, I was in my late 20s, going to UCLA for archeology school, feeling obligated to work 60, 80 hours and things like that. Get with good people, it's hard, but work with good people, find a healthy balance. Have fun out there, enjoy it.
The construction world is fascinating, but it's not perfect. Behind every building you admire, there are creators, dreamers, and problem solvers bringing ideas to life. Join me as we uncover the stories and insights of the professionals shaping the world around us. Hello everyone, welcome to Creative Blueprints. I'm so happy, I'm so proud of myself because I got it! I didn't give up, and I have Richard Hammer here with me from R&D Architecture. Thank you so much, Richard, for being part of Creative Blueprints.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, I'm so happy. I'm a huge fan of your projects and everything that you have been doing in the Austin community, and especially in this industry. It's just like, I think that your journey has been very inspiring for a lot of people, even if you don't know, because everything started because I was walking through a tour, and I remember, I cannot remember the address of that job site, but I remember your partner in your firm. I saw him, and it was like a walnut. I remember that property, and I was so surprised. It's one of my favorite kitchens that I have seen.
It was a beautiful project. We were wonderful clients and blessed. That was mid-century modern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I was like, I really like this, and I connected with your partner, and then we collaborated in other project for your cabinetry. So
yeah.
I'm a big fan, and I'm so happy to have you here. Just talk a little bit more about your experience and your journey and all of that. So yeah, I would love that we can start this conversation just telling me more about yourself, how many years of experience you have had in this industry, and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, I've been working in Austin since 2004, and working in the kind of small residential, high-end residential community for, 16 of those years now. Went to school in Savannah, Georgia for undergraduate in historic preservation, and then stayed on for my master's degree in architecture before moving out to Austin. And so I've been really blessed to be here in Austin during all this growth. I've been very fortunate to work for some of the best architects in town in their offices. And then I've been out on my own a few times, and then my business partner and I started R&D Architecture, going on 6 years now.
What is the name of your partner, just for people to know?
Davin Philpott. Mm-hmm. And I've known Davin. He was in the very first office I worked at when I first showed up to Austin. And so we've been close and communicated. And when I was working on my own, he would be somebody I'd call for questions and advice. We'd bounce ideas and designs off of each other. So it just became a really natural partnership.
Nice.
And it's been wonderful experiences. We've grown our still very small company, but grown our projects and quality of things we get to work on.
How many projects you have in your experience? More or less. I know that
I used to keep track on a
Yes.
Google map of all the projects
Wow.
I've worked on in Austin, and I long stopped updating that. It's been a lot. We've touched or looked at. When you work in here a long time, I'm shocked at how many projects we've touched over the years, whether just on an introductory process or taking it all the way through design or all the way through construction. There's just so many projects at this point.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, I again feel very fortunate, very blessed to be here in Austin working, and we've expanded to Georgetown. We do a lot of work in Westlake Hills, Rollingwood, and we've got projects down in Houston. We've really expanded our area of work.
Nice. That sounds pretty nice. I love that.
It's great.
And there is a question that I like to ask. Okay. That was not in the list that I sent you, okay. So that is a surprise. What is your favorite? I mean, you are an architect. You are in the construction industry. What is your happy place?
Oh gosh. I mean, as far as work goes, it's sitting down, drawing. That, again, as a little kid, if you could tell me as a grown-up that I get to draw or pull out a pen and paper and sketch, that's probably my happy place. And then I got 2 young boys at home. Cool. My wife, I'm a family guy. That's very much my happy place outside of work.
Nice.
And finding that healthy balance between the two has been, so important for work and life in general.
That's so cool.
But doodling and drawing is just the best. I still love to do that, and when I have an opportunity to, that gets me in my happy place.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are you ready for the dynamic that we have here?
Let's go.
So just for you to know, we have some Sherwin-Williams colors here. So these are some of my favorites. So we have this here, and each color is a question for you. So you will pick your favorite. Just let me know which one is, okay. And I can take a look to what is the question here.
Okay. Oh boy. Let's see. I am gonna go with. Let's do inspired lilac.
Okay.
Will be the first one.
Okay. Okay. So that would be, what fear did you overcome to build your business?
Oh my goodness. Very much starting out, getting yourself out there, trying to find new projects. Incredibly challenging for a designer. I very much worked in offices where we had incredible reputations from my bosses that drove work and projects. And so that first time of going out on your own and kind of realizing like, oh, wow, I don't know how to get projects, or I've got to pick up the phone and call people and really put myself out there. And I think was a real challenge for me very early on, early social media or no social media at the time to put imagery out or things. And so it was very much about relationships.
Yes.
And just picking up the phone and calling, letting people know you're available, and responding to phone calls when you get them. It's just very much putting yourself out there.
Yes.
It was such a challenge for me as somebody who's a little bit more introverted. And I found that to be, I still find it challenging at times, but it's become easier, and you build relationships with so many people in town that, help drive business or available for questions and things like that. And you become an expert at things that people lean on and come to you for that information.
What do you think that was you were doing when you were starting in this industry that you forced yourself to put yourself out there, like going to events or what you were doing there?
The events were easy. That's fun, social stuff. It's really, I mean, for me, it was just picking up the phone call and cold calling people, cold calling contractors.
Okay.
Just that was such a hard thing for me to do, and it was uncomfortable. Yes. And always went well. I can't say I ever had anybody like just hang up on me or, so it was all in my head, and it's just getting over those types of things of being willing to put yourself out there. And, and then just getting in front of clients. And I always felt that if I could get the meetings and get in front of people, I did better than on the phone. And so I'd try and get a meeting set up quickly rather than just talking on the phone for long times. And don't want to take up people's time.
Yeah.
They're all busy, but those really led to getting those first couple projects, and then which leads to more stuff and build those relationships. So important.
That's nice. Well, yeah, I mean, I was asking you before the recording if you were a part of a podcast before, and that this is your first
I have
time.
not. Yeah.
And this is, yeah, a good example to put yourself out there. I know that sometimes, I mean, I'm asking people to be part of this, and it's just like, oh, I'm not that good. So it's just like, you need to be part of this and just like try it. And sometimes it's fun. So
I'm still trying to get myself into uncomfortable situations and put it out there. So
thank you, appreciate
all
that.
good.
All right, so are we ready for the next one?
Next color, okay.
Yes.
I picked that one because of spring is
Yes.
hopefully coming, or we're in it, I guess.
And I mean, the lilac is very like trendy right now.
Let's go with a good. Let's do Malabar.
Malabar. Okay, here it is. How do you manage stress in such a demanding industry?
Oh wow, that that I learned very early on, and have a good handle. I mean, this is my go-to story in my during thesis project in school. I was really stressed out. I gave myself a stomach ulcer over stressing.
Wow.
And I had a moment of college, realization that I want to do this for a career. I'm getting so stressed out over a fake project that's never going to get built. I kind of need to reprocess how I deal with stress and things. And, not saying I don't get stressed and things like that, but that definitely helped put into perspective what, just it's going to be okay. It's not that serious. And my project was great. And that was just a realization of like, oh boy, I better learn how to process this and manage it now.
Yes.
If I want to do this for a career. And thankfully that was a good lesson I needed to learn. And again, not saying that there isn't super stressful times, and especially when you're starting out on your small business, getting payment and invoicing and those types of things is challenging and can be stressful. But then I also know that, thankfully I'm not in the medical field. Nobody's getting hurt. Nothing's on fire.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. And
I always say there are no kitchen emergencies. I mean, I'm a kitchen designer,
if
but
something is on fire, they're calling the contractor.
Yes,
So,
yes, exactly.
no, I feel I that was some lessons very early on in my career that helped do that. And then I was just kind of figuring out that work-life balance. I think for all architects is, I don't want to say all architects, but is a challenge early on, and especially if you're working in design studios and things like that, you have a lot of pressure to perform and work lots of hours and things like that. So.
Do you consider that, are you doing something like a ritual or something right now that is helping you with that?
Oh, I got two boys that come home from school, and so they pull me away from work, just with wanting attention, and it's the best. So that makes it really easy to be able to shut off for a couple hours and have family time. And I mean that's been my world and the best thing. And I was really blessed to work for a wonderful architect in town who, even before I was married, before I had kids, I saw how he operated as a dad with two boys, and I was like, man, that's the best. I would love to be like that or have that lifestyle.
What did you see there that you liked?
Just a willingness to like step away from the office for a couple hours to go water skiing with his boys, or just to be available for them when they needed them. And I think that's something me and my partner really strive for. We're both family men, and that's our number one priority, is just being there for our kids, and and just finding that balance has been really wonderful. I mean, for everybody, my wife, And but yeah, so that makes it easy when the kids come home. Shut off stuff for a little bit and go play with them and things. So
I love
yeah.
it. Nice. All right, just
Cool.
let's pick the other one.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, let's do this tiger eye.
Okay. So, what is the most meaningful compliment you have received?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Many
That's
of
a tough
them,
one.
but just
No, that's a
just
tough
one.
one. I mean, it's always. I think Ben. I worked on a lot of projects early on in other offices that were on the homes tours. We mentioned a homes tour project, and I think just having a project that you get to show off is so special. And so there's not necessarily one compliment, but participating in the homes tours, having a project that's worthy, that gets nominated for that, and then having people come through and hear your project or talk about your project, hear what they're saying is just, I know that's always been really special for me, and the opportunities to get to do that. A couple times have projects I've designed be on homes tours, whether they're in other offices or then my own project. We had on that modern homes tour. Because it takes a special client to be willing to do that. I think that's the other thing, is having a relationship with your client that allows you to do that, and they want to show off the project. I think that's kind of not a direct compliment, but is such a trust and a clear love of the process and working together that that's the real special thing.
Do you remember, like, I don't know, like something that a client or someone told you, probably your kids, I don't know, like something that they told you that they were like very proud of something that they saw of your work?
My kids realize now what I do, and they think it's fun, and they like the 3D software that I work on.
How old are they?
So I have a boy that's 9, and then my youngest boy is 6.
Oh, nice.
And so they're super fun ages, but they see the 3D software, and it looks like a video game, and I can show them how I can use it, and it works just like a video game, and so they find that absolutely awesome and very
What is your
cool.
favorite software?
Well, we use Revit a lot, of course. I mean, I really like that as just a software going. I mean, I started out using AutoCAD, so
Of course.
Using Revit just is really wonderful. We're using a lot of Twinmotion
Okay.
for rendering, and I've really enjoyed learning that software. That's one of the fun things I like to do. We were kind of shopping out our 3D, and we probably will at some time soon, but it's something I've always enjoyed working on is the 3D side of things, and using it as a design tool. And so Twinmotion's been really fun to plug in and work and get really beautiful renderings out of, and get to experience the spaces and walk around them. I love that as a design tool and find that really rewarding, but also getting to see different components of it that is hard to see when you're working in the BIM software and things like that. So.
Nice. So when your kids saw that you are working checking that you are working in the software, they love that, what they said?
They love that I can drop in cars and stuff
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Those are the things that they like. But they like being able to walk through the spaces, and we've gone out to a couple job sites here and there. But it's the software has been the funnest thing for them, because there's like, you could download machinery and put it on the project. I can put stuff on the roof, like an airplane on the roof.
So you are the cool dad with the 3D
I'm
with the 3D
trying.
software.
I'm trying.
All right.
No, that's really fun.
That's
It's kind
cool.
of showing them what I get to do, and even on the drawing stuff is getting to show them some of the sketches. As they're starting to draw.
Do you think that they will follow your steps, or they have different?
Probably not, but
What do you think that you can see this recording later, and they
Yeah,
will be like,
oh, gosh.
look at that! My dad was thinking that I was involved in the
honestly, I
architecture."
have no idea. I wouldn't put that down. I think it's a great career. Either, even I could see one of them getting into the construction world. And I think that would be wonderful for them in their future. Who knows? It's so hard to predict.
they're so,
As you just hear all this, media about AI taking jobs and things like that. It's just like, I'm not going to put that on my kids, you know, to
Yeah,
try
I
and
know,
like
right?
guide them down a path. I didn't know what I wanted to do until, you know, I was in my late 20s. And so,
How did you discover that you wanted to be an architect?
yeah, so I went to school for historic preservation. So I went to Savannah College of Art and
Oh,
Design, which
cool.
was an awesome school. And kind of the fun of that was I looked at their brochure and I was like, I want to do that. There was like 8 things that I was, from photography to 3D software to historic preservation, which I ended up in, architecture. There was just so many things there that at that school that I was interested in pursuing and could see myself maybe doing as a career. And I love history and I love art and I was interested in scientific drawing and artifact restoration and things. And so I thought, oh wow, historic preservation. Little did I know that it was mainly building preservation was what Savannah focuses on. And so I got into buildings and that was really neat. But at the end of preservation, I kind of realized I don't really agree with a lot of it, of just preserving stuff for the sake of preserving. I really enjoyed the adaptive reuse portion of it. And we were in the same building as the architecture students, and they're doing 3D renderings, they're doing hand drawing stuff, and it was creative. I was like, oh, it looks really amazing over there. And so I had a moment in between undergrad and grad school where I went and did an archaeological dig in Jordan for about 3 months, and to see if that was a career I wanted to pursue. I was thinking of going to UCLA for archaeology school.
Wow.
And I went on this dig. I met a guy there that was an architect and doing archaeology. And he was like, you can volunteer to do this any summer you want. Come out to a dig site and work on it. You can't really be a part-time architect. So if you want to do that, go to architecture school, finish that. And I was like, oh, this is great. You know, like if I ever want to do this again, I can volunteer and go to a dig site and scratch that itch. And so that kind of led me down the path. And then one other side was you had to learn languages. Language is not my strength. Foreign languages,
Okay.
reading, German, French. That was going to be a big hurdle for pursuing scholarly archaeology. So I was like, I don't know about that. But yeah, and then, you know, architecture, I was able to go from historic preservation to architecture for my master's pretty easily at SCAD, and I loved it. It was awesome. It was everything that I was seeking and wanting, and so that kicked off this path, and yeah, here I am.
So if you haven't picked architecture, you probably will be like in the archaeology.
Something along those lines. I took a museum studies class that I thought was neat. Yeah, something I did scientific drawing, like artifact drawings and things like that I really enjoyed. I don't know what I would have been, you know.
That's
but
cool.
I
I like that.
Very much interested still in history
Nice.
and reading about what's going on in that world. But happy to be an architect. It scratches the creative itch that
Nice.
kind of those more focused degrees, even historic preservation and archaeology don't. There's not as much creative components to that.
So as an architect, you mentioned that you have been here in Austin for
20-something years now, 22 years, I guess.
so before that you were in architecture where?
That was in Savannah College of Art. I
Okay.
moved here right after college.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Got it.
in '04 I came out.
Nice.
And, Austin was just starting to really boom at that time, and I took a commercial job working in an office that did a lot of churches and commercial buildings, and then quickly pivoted into residential architecture.
Nice.
And that's kind of where I've been since. We're really fortunate. We do light tenant finish outs. We do some bigger commercial stuff, but nothing, it's all boutique. We have a project in Georgetown right now that's 3 stories. It's a block and a half off the square. It's two floors of retail space and then a residence on the top.
Nice.
And so things like that are really interesting and kind of fun, but mainly it's residential.
Residential.
Yeah.
And you like more residential, or?
I do. I love it.
Yes.
It's once I got into that world, and it's just been it's where I found a real calling. I love working with people. I love that they're living in the homes, experiencing it. I think good design goes a long way for having a peaceful life and home existence. You spend so much time there that having a beautifully designed or working spaces is just, yeah, it makes life easier. I like to think of it.
Nice. Before the recording, were chatting a little bit, and you told me that you opened a new branch of your firm.
Yeah.
So that is not especially it's architecture, but isn't the not fun part I consider of architecture. So I'm very intrigued how you ended there. Like,
yeah, we have a side component of our company is called R&D Site Solutions, and it's mainly been feasibility studies, permitting, and we work with contractors, real estate agents, other architects, and homeowners to kind of see what's available on their property, what they can do, and just with working in Austin for so long, and my partner works a lot in Westlake and Rollingwood. We've built up a vast source of knowledge on properties and what can be done, and so we've really developed out that side of the business to where we're quite busy with projects for contractors and architects, which we kind of said we'd never do, is take on other people's stuff. But it's just been a natural growth for us, and so especially in permitting in Westlake and Rollingwood. Westlake is very challenging, and there's a lot of nuance in their code and the process that my business partner Davin knows like the back of his hand, and so he has really kind of cultivated a lot of business, just being a source of knowledge where people call to say, hey, I know a guy that knows. I know who you need to talk to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot in Austin. It's changing all the time, but with a lot of experience. And I've been a little resistant to pick up the Austin stuff, but we've picked up a couple projects in Austin, and we'll review. Again, it's a lot of it's feasibility, and then some of it for select partners will help with their permitting. And walking that through the system, but yeah, it's been a natural growth, as I said, that has really taken off, especially in more challenging areas. And Georgetown is one where we're navigating through permitting in Georgetown, and
it's easier there. I don't know.
We're in the process of going through the historic review park up there, and so it's gone really well for us currently. Now we've still got a couple steps left, but we're doing good on it so far. I don't want to.
We are on edge.
I don't want to jump the gun, but so far so good up there. Okay. And but yeah, it's something we just happen to be knowledgeable and very good at is kind of what you can do on your property, and then how do you get it permitted and gone through. In Westlake, there's a variance process for a lot of things. It's just challenging. It's just daunting to get things done over there. Drainage components, and so
that's part of it.
I think there's a lot of little components to it that it's nice to have one source where you can go to and kind of get that information from.
Interesting.
So we've become that for a lot of people, and so it's been neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the next question?
I am.
Just pick another color.
Okay. What's this one? This is Rockwood Dark Green.
Rockwood Dark Green. Okay, so how would your team describe you in 3 words?
Oh gosh.
Or 5 or 10 or I don't know.
I have hopefully it's a good reputation of being a tinkerer is what I've been lovingly or not so lovingly called at times, and that just I look for opportunities to make things better, and if something's not sitting right on a design, I'll want to go in and iterate on it and try and solve it, I guess. On our Georgetown project, the floor plan just wasn't sitting with me. The clients liked it and was refining it. And I was just like, there's a better version of this. And so I just sat down and I created a second floor plan for the interior designer and the client to look at. And I think, we solved quite a few issues on it. But I have a tendency to do that where it's, I probably could have let that go and we could have solved the plan and worked with what we had originally drawn. But that's one of those things. So I think that'll, now I'm in my own business. It doesn't drive my bosses nuts at this point, but I don't know. That's something that I definitely
Thinker.
A tinkerer. Yeah. I don't know. That's probably the best answer for you. Just me and my partner, and then we staff up when we need to. And then we had a contract employee a few years ago now. That was really incredible. That we would have loved to kind of pull into the fold, but at this point, it's just us. I think I said before, there's every couple weeks or months, there's a time where it hits where it's like, oh, we should have hired somebody like 3 weeks ago, and then we just kind of push through, and it's never that bad, but we're getting to a point where we're definitely going to be thinking about bringing on somebody or finding a way to kind of balance some of the new projects coming in and things like that. But
how do you think that you and your partner complement each other?
We get along great, first and foremost. You got to get along with your business partner, and I think in our knowledge set, he's got some real world construction experience where he's built some houses. So his detailing, materiality kind of knowledge is really incredible. Like I said, the expertise in Westlake and building over there and dealing with drainage and foundations and sites over in that area, which are challenging, is incredible. And then I think my background in design and has really kind of we have a really nice balance. He's an incredibly talented designer as well, and so I think we can both run with a project if we need to. If the other one gets busy or is tied up with something else, each of us can run with a project and take it full board. But it's nice having a partner that also can cultivate relationships and has a network of people that he knows and he's developed a reputation with. It's hard doing it when it's just yourself, I will say. It's nice to have somebody that is also doing that just to generate business and things, especially when you're starting out the business. I would say that was just a benefit where it's like, there's the day where I don't want to pick up the phone, and here's somebody else that has that. I want to work. I want to keep my head down and not have distractions. He can be out there, getting things. And so that now it just, like I said, the reputation and being a source of knowledge has been really incredible for business and in our partnership. And we really enjoy each other's company and get along great. And so I look forward to, us working together, and every day is really fun, and his family is awesome. So it's really
probably we can invite him and do part 2 with your partner.
Oh, that'd be fun, yeah. He's
awesome.
Really a really great guy, so it makes it easy, and just been really natural.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I like it, and that is a pretty good compliment as in the firm. So
good guy.
Yes, yeah. All right, so pick the other one. Probably that will be the last one.
Okay.
Before we close.
Let's go. Oh, let's do basic pair. Someone's calling to me.
Okay. So that is, what was your favorite hobby growing up?
Oh, I'm going back to drawing. Sketching and drawing was just something that was, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I found a little place I could kind of dive into mentally, and just loved creating and sketching and things like that. And then, as you get a little bit older, it's about finishing a project and trying to just really put a lot of time into something
Yeah.
is really rewarding and things. But a lot of my sketching, I don't share a lot of it. A lot of it is for myself. And so that's a hard thing. Again, my wife has encouraged me to, you need to show your drawings more and show your sketches.
What do you like to draw? Like,
I still like to draw like archeology stuff. I had a book on one of my sketchbooks on Instagram I did of woolly mammoths of all random things. But I love drawing houses. I think that's it's a little bit of a challenge I went through of, well, if I'm going to draw and refine my skills, I need to focus on architecture. And, you know, as I had my first son, and it's like, oh, he wants me to draw like a Pokemon character or, you know, or just draw fun stuff. You know, I was like, oh, wait, it's so much fun to draw other things. And, you know, I don't have to be that serious about like refining my craft. And I did learn early on in architecture that it doesn't have to be the prettiest sketch. If it communicates an idea, that's almost more important or as equally important to having a beautiful sketch as if you can draw detail or you know, communicate an idea with just a few lines. There's a lot of power to that.
Yes, but I mean, I'm very intrigued to when I see someone that is very passionate about drawing. I'm very bad at drawing. I can't, you know, like share the idea and just like do like a couple of lines and is all that I can do to share my idea. But when someone is very passionate about drawing, and I can see that when they are like just like putting together an idea, it's just like wow, respect.
It's finding the balance because, you know, you can be a perfectionist and create a really pretty drawing.
Oh yeah.
But that takes time, and if, like I said, if you're just trying to communicate an idea, and the end goal is to have another person understand that, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to deliver.
Yes.
And so that was just a good lesson I learned of. I don't have to spend, you know, a long time on a drawing. I can go fast and communicate that idea.
Nice.
And so it's just another tool, I guess, in that. I think there's opportunities to do beautiful drawings and to do presentation stuff. And not every project I draw on by hand anymore. But I still try to for certain projects.
Nice.
And that trace paper and the iterative process of it is, I think, really rewarding. And I still can't get ideas out that fast in a computer, and testing things. It's just such a testing ground for ideas that it's really hard to replicate in a computer or on a digital screen. And so that trace paper, and just if you get half an idea, you can trace it out, and then and you can take that to the next piece of trace and build upon it. And embracing mistakes. I think, you know, if you look at a lot of my sketches, I learned from a really talented architect that I worked for that did a lot of hand drawing, that, you know, you can white out things, and when you scan it, it's all, you know,
Yes.
the mistake goes away. And so if you look at a lot of my trace paper, you know, there's white out pieces on it or things that were, you know, again, just iterating those ideas, or, you know, you'll white out a huge section of it and you'll get another piece of trace and put it on top of it and then tape it down. And then when you scan it, it looks like it was a part of the original drawing.
Love that.
And I think those have been fun to share with clients too. There's still something people do love about the architect
I love that.
kind of thing.
I love that.
And so it is fun to be able to show that off. And, you know, you mentioned that home store. I had the original sketches I did for that project out on the table. Just trace paper. I mounted them to foam core and just had those. I had 3 of them out there, and I think people really, really enjoyed seeing that.
I really enjoy that.
Tons of compliments on that, and so that was fun, and just reaffirming that it's a neat tool to have that people really respond to. So you can give them to clients at the end too. They like having a piece of the project, a piece of the design. So. I found that to be that's another rewarding component of that, the ability to do a quick little sketch and then give it to somebody. There's a lot of meaning in that. So yeah.
I like that. I really like. I will take a look to your drawings.
Okay, yeah,
for sure.
I brought just a few. So
all right. So That was the last question, but you told me that you thought about the question of the song. Now I am intrigued about the song.
Oh, God.
So one of the questions is, if your business had a theme song, what it will be? So tell me.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I had an answer, so I didn't stare blankly at the camera. But I went with there's a producer out of Detroit named Jay Dilla.
Okay.
And he had a song. He has an album called Donuts, which I love, and it's just an instrumental album. But there's a song on there called "Working on It," and I for a theme song for an office, we're always working on it, and just feels it's a good upbeat song that got some funkiness to it, and I just
Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
I will try to find it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I've used it on an Instagram post before, just
Cool.
because I really enjoy it, and yeah, just working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just to finish this conversation, I would love that you could give us a little advice to future architects if the future challenge that they want to be part of this industry. What can be your best advice for them?
Gosh, get with good people. As it's hard, but work with good people and find a healthy balance. You're going to be doing this for a long time, and I think finding that healthy balance of work, outside relationships, is so important.
Yes.
I've seen that. Just over your career, you see people really struggle with that, and I struggled with it at times. I think early on in my marriage, my wife, would look at me weird when I would be like, I'm going back to the office. It's 8:00 at night. And she's like, what are you doing? And so that was, those types of things of just finding that healthy balance of life and work. And, I see, I don't know if that's such as big of a struggle as it is for young designers as it was for, I think, our generation or my generation. I don't speak for your generation. My generation of feeling obligated to work 60, 80 hours and things like that. I hope that that's kind of breaking. I know that it's just a challenge, and it's different if your name's on the door. Like I'll still, work on weekends, and I'll work in the evenings when everybody gets quiet in the house and stuff like that. But my name's on the door. It's my business.
Yes.
I think there's just finding that balance of doing that for other people versus yourself, and that's kind of it. Find that good healthy balance. Get in a relationship, have fun out there, enjoy it.
That's all that we need.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Richard. If you can share with us how people can reach you out, how people can connect with you, your Instagram, whatever that you want to share with us.
It's R&D Architecture is the firm name, and you can reach us on Instagram, R&D Architecture. We have a website. You can reach out to us there, rndarchitecture.com. And just would love to hear from anybody that's got work or has questions about their projects or property or anything.
Are you planning to be in one of the home tours that are coming, or not for now?
We're working on it. Unfortunately, one of the sad parts about the business is we've had 2 or 3 of our best projects we've designed over the past couple of years not go to construction.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so and then it takes the right client. I don't know if either of those clients would have been even open to having a homes tour. But I will say that's one of those challenges that you don't think about or don't hear about. Is just, man, we took a project all the way to construction documents that was beautiful, interiors fully done, fully rendered. Project was ready, and the property was bought, and the project was shelved because the neighbor bought the property and wants to do something different with it. And that was, just kind of a bummer of just we spent so much energy into that. And it was such a beautiful project. And we have another project in Georgetown that's really incredible. And it's just kind of stuck in going to engineering. We're just waiting for the client to kind of approve
Hopefully
going to engineering and things like that. So nothing currently. And we're okay with that. We've got, we need to do better with social media and things like that. I think that's
We're working on it.
always on our to-do list that falls down a little bit is, oh yeah, we need to make a post or something like that. But
Nice.
yeah, just busy's good. So
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Thank you.
And we will be expecting some good news to see your work.
oh, thank you. Yeah, we do have some
will.
beautiful projects in the works.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really, like I said, fortunate to be busy right now and have some neat stuff coming. But yeah, I think two of our favorites are kind of shelved at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again. Thank you for being part of this. Of course, follow us on Instagram at _creative blueprints, my professional Instagram, mitziavila.designer. And yeah, just if you haven't taken a look to other episodes, please go and check all the inspiration that has been recorded. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Mitzi.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.